Hello, it's me. Right, let's make sure things are working. Always good to know. Yay, they are. So that's good. So, sorry, just getting rid of things off my mobile. So it's Thursday, it's 3 o'clock UK time. If you are watching me live, you will see a live in a red box at the top of the left-hand side of your screen. So just in the top box. Good morning, good afternoon rather, Rachel, Claire, Corrie. Yay, people joining me. So, just so you know, if some Lorna's there as well. I'll just finish my horrible housekeeping and then I'll catch up again. So, if you're watching live, there's a live in the top left-hand corner of your screen. If you're watching on catch-up, then there won't be a live in the top left-hand corner of your screen. But you can still leave comments below the description bar and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I am Liz Yuille. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, working across France, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, and of course the UK. And I am based in rural Oxfordshire. This is my job. So I earn from any orders you place using my online store, and there's a link to that in the description bar below the video. Phew! So, who's joined? We've got Sherry from a warm morning in Oregon. Good. Suzanne is just waking up. Nora has joined us. Nora, I'm hoping to get that email to you later today, otherwise it'll be early-ish tomorrow, but I will get it to you, just so you know. And the good news, the really good news, New Horizon paper is in Europe. Yay! It's arrived later than it was originally arriving, but earlier than it was predicted to arrive most recently, if that makes sense. So originally it was due to arrive this week. Then the date moved out to the beginning of... Oh, I say this week. No. Originally it was due to arrive next week. Then it was due to arrive the following week. And it's here. So... all is good. And yes, for those of you who have ordered paper shares, your paper share has now been ordered, or the extra bit for your paper share has now been ordered, and I will get it to you as soon as it arrives. Everything else, paper and ribbon share, have all been sent. So we've got Priscilla, we've got Nora. You're very welcome, Nora. Carol from Calgary, Jess, who is in the UK. Glad it's made it. I know, I'm dying to see the New Horizon paper. When I first saw the catalogue, it was the first paper I went, yes, I love it. Raining Cold and Yuck with Barbara. The New Horizon is gorgeous. I know, I've seen all the pictures and I want it. And ironically, certainly in the UK, and it may be the same across the world, when you go onto the Stampin' Up! Website through the app, what do we get front and centre? The New Horizon paper. So, yeah, it's in! Hurrah! And I've been checking the inventory status report every day. Didn't have a chance today, so one of my team spotted that it was in and let me know. So it is all now ordered, which is great. Cold Nevada, 46 degrees, 8 centigrade. Dare I say 8 centigrade here at the moment is warm. It was incredibly frosty this morning. It's going to be even worse tomorrow, apparently. So I'm due to be at the gym first thing tomorrow. I will have to spend a lot of time scraping the ice off. Oh no, Jess, I'm so sorry you've got COVID and the kids have as well. Fingers crossed it's not too bad. One of our neighbours, not immediate neighbours, but someone who lives just down the road from us, we were supposed to be meeting with them yesterday evening, and just in case, he did a COVID test and he is also positive but feels fine. So I'm hoping that he still is, particularly, dare I say, terribly selfish. But I bumped into his wife yesterday late morning. Fortunately, she was testing negative yesterday, so I'm hoping I haven't picked it up from her. I was outside and we were not that close, so fingers crossed it'll be fine, because we're supposed to be going out to lunch tomorrow. So we will be COVID testing tomorrow morning. Absolutely, Lorna and Rachel, horrid. Hello, Gwen from North Carolina in the US of A. So, as promised on Tuesday, I'm using Celebration items today. I'm using specifically Island Vibes and Special Moments. I'm going to flip the camera down so you can see what is happening. I need to be reasonably quick today because it's January and hubby and I will be on going for a walk duty. So, Island Vibes, Celebration Level 1. We all got different symptoms. Oh dear. Well, hopefully you're vaccinated, Jess. I don't know about whether the kids are. I don't know if they're old enough to be vaccinated yet. Hopefully they are. Hubby and I had it this time last year almost, and it was before vaccines really had taken off. He had just had his first, typical. He had his first about 3 days before I came down with it, and then he got it really badly. Anyway, so Island Vibes and Special Moments. I have done some prep, which will help speed things up. My first card I haven't even made, as in I've done samples for the other two, but I have done some stamping. I'm going to show you how I stamped, but I have done the fussy cutting. So this is Garden Green. Ooh, 2 people in North Carolina, yay! So this is Garden Green, a colour I don't often use, and I've stamped it not very well 3 times. Once is okay and 2 are less so, but it's all right because I'm layering them, so it's fine. I've also stamped the little plant, and I've stamped this with, or I've inked it with Stampin' Right markers. Let me see if I can actually say markers rather than blends, because there was a live I did last week where I kept saying blends. And I meant markers. So, I have my stamp on the block. The key, and this is where I went wrong, to... Hello, Penny. Yes, you are catching me live during the day. So you're in Indiana. You're fully vaccinated with booster. You're testing negative, which means you're not contagious. Oh, well, that's something. That's something. So have you actually got it, Jess? If you're testing negative, so you're just off with the kids? With them, I say just, I mean not, I don't mean just. So Gwen is in Raleigh. Hello, Judith. Just got back from lunch with your crafting friends. Brilliant. I'm always happy to help, Jess. There are some of the stamps I prefer. This one is not my least favourite, this particular stamp. Anyway, the key to stamping well with these stamps is to not over ink. My Garden Green is over inked. So what I should do is push the ink down or store my ink pad the wrong way up. I'm going to do neither. Hey, but anyway, so this is probably not going to stamp very well, but I'm going to show you anyway, and I'm going to be reasonably quick stamping it, because actually that's come out all right, and that's why I was going to be reasonably quick, because I know it's an inky ink pad. So stamping quickly means that it should stamp better, and it has. I have done my fussy cutting. I don't think people need to see me fussy cut. If you do want me to fussy cut, in fact I do need to fussy cut. Oh no, I changed the design. Do I need to fussy cut again? No. But so if you need me to fussy cut, I can fussy cut later. But in the meantime, I'm going to make up, actually no, I'm going to ink up the stamp that has the pot, just so that I can show you how I did it. As I say, it's using markers. So I have got So Saffron. Don't know why I use So Saffron. In fact, I might use Bumblebee this time. So let me get Bumblebee out instead. So I've got Bumblebee, Garden Green, and Early Espresso. So I always like to work from the light to the dark. So I'm going to start with the Bumblebee and just ink that up with the side of my marker. Now I did this a little while ago on one of my other videos. Can't remember which one it was. It was the rainbow one, I think. Markers are great for inking up the stamps, particularly the red rubber stamps. So this is my Garden Green. And the key really is to keep the keep your brain working, is to keep the nib on its side. Now we do end up with, so just here there is, so here this side there is a bit of branch that goes through. Now I'm going to use Early Espresso, so it's going to be dark enough to cover it up anyway, but just in case, I'm going to just try and leave the Garden Green off, because I don't really want that kind of muddy colour that you can get if you mix colours too well, or not well enough, depending on how you look at it. So I'll show you in a moment what I have done before I add the, so I've got this line where the trunk is. So let me just draw in the trunk. And although I'm using the point, I'm still using the edge of the point. In fact, I've spotted where I didn't do a very good job with my green. There we go. And then huffing on that, and it will fit nicely in that space there. So let's pop it there, and then I'll pick it up and show it to you. So there we go. Now I am going to use it with an ink pad as well, just to show you the difference. And I will I be rash and use the Garden Green? I might, just so that you can see. Although I also have the cinnamon cider out for later, and I think the cinnamon cider might be a less well inked ink pad. So these are distinctive inks, which is why you don't want too inkier ink pad. And there you can probably see. So you get more definition because there's less ink. So that is the little plant. Clean the stamp off, and then I'm going to make up the card. And I thought I had put a sentiment out, but clearly I didn't. Nope, apparently I didn't. That's fine. So obviously Island Vibe doesn't have any, thank you Jess, doesn't have any sentiment, so I've pulled the Special Moments, which is the level 2, so it's a £90 order, 120 euros I think, for this in Europe. But you can use any sentiment. So don't need that. Let's get rid of that. Oh, I pulled out one for one of the other cards. So I'm going to make this card up, and then I will worry about a sentiment. So my plan is that I'm going to overlap these to build up lots of dimension. So these are going to go down the edge, and then this is going to go here, and then I'm going to have a sentiment up here. But I'm wondering actually if I might bring everything up and have a sentiment here. I might put some ribbon. I could use the suede, the faux suede ribbon, and that will bring in the Early Espresso. So I think I'm going to do that. So let me grab my ribbon. It's a trim rather than a ribbon, really. Where is it? Where have you gone? Let's throw everything around. I know I have a reel of it because I've used it recently. Just can't find it. No. Well, isn't that just typical? That's because I want to use it today. And I don't think I finished it. Oh, no, no. Okay, change of plan then. Won't do that. Oh no, there we are. It has gone to the back. Sorry about that. Everyone's very quiet. Everyone always is quiet. It's fascinating. Good. So, yes, this is my weird brain going. So, I am going to put some of the early espresso. This is me joining the end of one thing of ribbon to another. Clearly, I just used the other piece. So, this is going to come across here. These are going to be about there. So, and this is going to be about there. So, I'm going to put my sentiment down here. So I think something along the lines of, for someone who is wonderful in each and every way, because it's a nice big sentiment which will fill that space nicely and make it look intentional. So this is always where I come from when I'm doing these sorts of things. Whatever you do, if you change your mind, just make it look intentional. Too busy watching. So new photopolymer, so I'm taking the finish off. Right, and I'm going to stick with, garden green or early espresso. I'm going to go early espresso because I think otherwise it's going to be very green. And I do love early espresso. For me, it's almost black. It's so dark. So let's get rid of all the guff. So there we are, for someone who is wonderful in each and every way. I shall bring that up in a moment. Just want to clean off my stamp. Particularly with photopolymer, I like to clean them reasonably quickly so that they don't stain, because photopolymer can stain. I know anyone who's watched me before will remember that I always say, if you use Night of Navy, you are going to end up with a red stamp because it will stain. I've been rubbing all my stamps now. The difference is amazing. Absolutely. You only have to do it the first time. After that, it's pretty much okay. So, this needs to be about yay long. Let's grab my snips. There we go. Don't need that anymore. So let's throw it somewhere where I still won't be able to find it. I really must sort through my ribbons. I've sorted through my stamps since we've changed catalogues, but I haven't sorted through my ribbons or my papers. Right, so I'm going to add this on first. It's almost straight, that stamp. Almost, just not quite. Anywho, so I'm going to line this up on my grid paper and grab my Seal Plus, and I'm going to go for there. So Seal Plus there, and Seal Plus there. There we go. So that's our line that we can work to. So I'm going to layer up with the least good stamping at the back. Sally from Georgia. Glad to catch you again live. Absolutely. Really like the green foliage. I use a soft art eraser, gently rub over the top of the stamps. Yes, that's the other one that I do use, Sally. I've got a white, what I call a good quality white eraser. And that works really nicely as well. But my hand is kind of there. So the worst of the stamped images is going to go down first. And I am going to tuck them just very slightly under that ribbon. So, and I'm deliberately not going to pop the ink all the way up. I want the top edges to be loose. So let's just pop that under. Come on, underneath. Underneath. Thank you. Oh, come along. Under. It's like a naughty child. Do as you're told. Thank you. So we do want that edge to be reasonably well lined up. Oh, and I've just realised that's wrong. I've gone wrong. Just saying, this one actually wants to come over here. It doesn't matter because I can cover up the glue. This one's going to come over here. Dear Lord. That's better. So then it's going to be this one, and then it's going to be the top one. But again, I don't want the very top of the leaves. Hello from New Hampshire, always catching you. Brilliant, glad you're catching me live. Stuart, I was going to say, Robertson Educational Resources. So this one will just have about half, 3/4 of an inch, so 1.5 centimetres, that sort of amount. And down a bit, thank you. And the last one. There we go. So I'm going to leave those to sort of settle. Hi Wendy, don't apologise, it's fine. It was Wendy who very kindly let me know that the New Horizon paper is in. Not that I'm excited, but I am. Right, I'm gonna have this flat as well, because I'm gonna pop up my base, my layer rather, because the suede ribbon is, or trim, is quite thick. So having it flat down wouldn't actually be flat. Hello, Marlene from a cold Wisconsin. So, oops. So that is kind of where we are. Let's add some dimensionals. And I am going to put the dimensionals over the suede trim, even though that's still a little lumpy. I just like to catch the trim. This is hopefully the last sheet that has been really well cut. So yes, I like to catch the trim between layers of adhesive. It's then less likely to come out. So here we go. I'm not going to go mad with dimensionals. You don't need lots. If you're posting it halfway around the world, then yes. Hello, Amanda from a very hot Perth. I bet it is this time of the year. It was either late January or early February. I was in Perth many years ago. I was in my early 30s, so quite a long time ago. And it was incredibly hot. I mean, extraordinarily hot. Right, the thing I haven't done is fold my card in half. Thank you everyone who has given me ideas for making sure I get an even front and back. I'm not too worried. I just like to know which is the long side, but some really good suggestions. But yes, as I say, I don't mind as long as I know where the longer side is, because that's always going to be the front for me. It's been up, I bet it has. So that is basically it, but I think we need some stamping on the inside as well. So what I'm going to do is take my... Ooh, actually, no, change. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp just the edge. So I need a piece of rough paper. The back of a shipping order is always good for this. My garden green ink. And thank you, I'm glad you like it. So ink up my stamp. And I'm only going to use these sort of 3 leaves at the end here, and I'm going to deliberately come down so that hopefully I stamp off the edge. Hello, bee. And I have. So just a little bit of something for the inside. That goes away, that can go out of the way, this can go on the inside, and we will be on to card number 2. If I can find my seal plus seal. Found it, hiding behind one of my lights. So the blog post that goes with this will be up either later today or early tomorrow. As I say, we are out. Hopefully out for lunch tomorrow, assuming everybody is well. So things might be a little late, or indeed early. So there we are. Now, the reason I wanted these to be not stuck down was so that you can do a little bit of shaping with them, so that you can get some dimension. And by doing this, rather than putting dimensionals behind, you don't have to pay excess postage, you just squish it down again. But hopefully you will see that there is dimension. There's also marks from my nail varnish, but that's what the rubber is for. That will take those off really nicely. This is one of those sand erasers. So if you do ever get a little mark, always keep one of these to hand. They're sand, well, they're called sand erasers. They're from Tombow Mono Eraser for ink. So that's that one. Apart from falling down the stairs, you are kidding me, Rachel. Bit shaken, but no serious damage. Just bruises, you hope. When did you fall down the stairs, Rachel? So there we go, that's that one. I say lots of fussy cutting, but I like fussy cutting, so that's all okay. Right, next card, which I am changing slightly for speed, is this one. So, really straightforward card. If I can find my cinnamon cider layer, that would be even better. Is it in there? Nope. Marvellous. Excuse me one moment. I thought I had a cinnamon cider layer out. Nope. No, that's fine. I can easily cut one. I would have put money on having put one out, but clearly not. Didn't put it anywhere else, did I? No. Right, cinnamon cider layer coming up. So, I have a scrap in here that I can easily chop down. Let's clear the decks a bit. So the yellow is Bumblebee, which I've just discovered I've got almost none left of. And it's at that difficult stage where do you order some more or not? Because it's going to be retiring soon. So I'm cutting this at 5.5 by 3 3/4. And while I'm at it, I've got some of the rose gold and gold specialty paper from the annual catalogue, and that I have cut at my usual 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm going to gut it at 3/4 of an inch. So you just line your side up to 3/4 of an inch and cut. So you end up with a frame, but you also end up with a nice spare bit, which is always good to have. Right, what have I missed? Never fallen downstairs in my life, always the first time. Yeah, it's horrible. Yes, arnica for bruises. I managed to pitch myself down the stairs at our old house. I was rushing to get to work. I had a cup in one hand and a bowl in the other because I'd had my breakfast up in the room, and I caught the heel of my shoe in the bottom of my trouser leg, and I went head first down the stairs. Not to be recommended, but didn't actually break anything. Thought I might have broken my elbow because that bashed the banister on the way down, but there we go. The key to these things is to not break your fall, but I'm really pleased that you're not anything other than bruised. But yes, arnica definitely. So the pineapple and cinnamon cider, so this is going to be tone on tone. I should probably have done the other stamping first, but never mind. So I'm literally just adding this cinnamon cider onto cinnamon cider and deliberately going off the side of my card, both sides, and then fill in bottom. So it's almost like your own designer series paper. And what I'm going to do, rather than fussy cutting, which does, as you know, take time, I am going to use a tag, which is why I've got a tag out. So I've got a rough piece of paper, and don't need that anymore. So I need to clean off my stamp. And I have, somewhere I have my cinnamon cider, there we are. So, bumblebee, garden green and cinnamon cider. So I'm going to start with my bumblebee, start with the lightest colour first, and again with the side of my marker. I'm adding ink to the base of my pineapple. Then with my garden green I'm going to add ink to the leaves. Now pretty much garden green, old olive, mossy meadow, those sorts of colours would work well for pineapple leaves. I would suggest that rather than something like granny apple green. And then with my cinnamon cider, I'm just going to add some splodges on my pineapple for those, you know, ripe bits that you always seem to get, that some is yellow and some is not. And huff again, stamp. I'm glad I'm giving you some ideas, Priscilla. Love this set and appreciate these ideas to give me get you starting to use it. That's super. Stuart, always happy to help. Yeah, well, it was, Rachel, it's because I had something in each hand. I didn't have anything to break my fall with, which I swear is why I bounced. And I landed on the carpet, so that helped. But I was fairly shaken and I had pulled muscles, but other than that, I did go to the hospital and make sure that nothing was actually broken. So I've got one of the tailor-made tags, what do we call them? Tailor-made tags, and it just fits the pineapple. So let's wind that through, and then we just need a top for it, as in a circle. One of those reinforcing bits, which I always think are quite fun to have. Oop, bash lights, why don't I? And we have, of course, got a nice scrap that we can use. Let me get the circles out. There's the most bizarre light coming in. It's almost like it's thunder in one direction and sunshine in the other, but we're not forecast to have any rain, so I'm hopeful that it is not. I'm going to just use a corner bit, or a little bit, just so that I don't waste all this nice piece of gold card. Assuming it will go through. No, it's not going to go through like that. It's never a good idea to put your top plate shorter than your bottom plate. Let's put the top plate longer than my bottom plate, and then that should be better. My really tatty plates. Yeah, arnica definitely, and if it was today, arnica overnight, and I would suggest something like Nurofen, if you can take Nurofen, and then hopefully overnight that will help with any pulled muscles. Thank you, Lorna. I have to say, I agree with you all. I wasn't sure about this set. I only got it because I got all the others. I'm at the point now where I have all of the Celebration stamp sets and lots of paper. So, yes. Right, okay. Yes, it's very odd lighting here. It's most bizarre. Let's bring back in our background and our frame. We've got our tag, which I just need to add my little top to. Now, the striations on the paper are going up and down, so I'm going to use the same up and down on this little circle. And just put a tiny amount of glue around the sides, and then pop my circle on like that, and the striations are roughly up and down. Let's twist it a little bit. There we go, while the glue is still damp. So we've got our little circle. So to stick this together, I am going to use tear and tape, because to stick to this gold is going to be tricky for most things, certainly to be quick. So I'm going to use tear and tape, which is a nice strong adhesive. And then we've got about 7 minutes for the last card. Might work. Might work. Right, that's what I need. So this is going to be very fractionally smaller than my frame. So we'll have a 1/16 of an inch gap all the way round. Don't need that line in the way. So I know this is upside down, but guess what? I can turn it through 180 degrees and make it the right way up. Now theoretically, if everything is square, if you get your corner right, everything else should fall into place. And it has! Right, so bumblebee card base, don't need that. Straw. So this goes on next. And I will use the same gold pearls. Press nice and hard. I'm pressing in the middle in particular because that's card on card. The gold is a little slippy, so from an adhesive point of view it can be a bit tricky. We've just got Full and Dreary here in Scotland. That's Corrie, otherwise known as Dull. I mean the weather, not Corrie. Playing with the fabulous product share you received. Glad it arrived. Yes, nothing like a bit of tissue paper. Absolutely, Gwen. I mean, if you're at the point where you've got everything else, I think getting something that's free is better than not. And then see what you can do with it. but I'm really, really enjoying it. I didn't think I was going to. Right, now I think I want some thinking linen thread for a bow. Or I might just do looping through the... excuse me. Lick the fingers, always a better way of doing these things. Not very healthy, but it's only me using the bag. So I'm going to see if I can do this in reverse. I don't quite like doing things the wrong way around, because I've just decided that I really want a loop at the top, not a bow. So if you're going to do a loop, always easier to do it before you've stuck your tag down. Just saying. Like that. Trim my ends. Get rid of those bits. Right, gold pearls. These are the ones that come with the gold and the silver. Put the end on my thing and oops, come on. Just pop some of these in little clusters. I'm in a thing about clusters of 3 at the moment. Don't know why, but that seems to be where I'm going. And then down here too. Come on. So that is my variation on the first one, and somewhere, there we are, I have my last one. So we're doing, guess what, Bumblebee. So this one finished. This was the one I did before with fussy cutting. So same but different. And this one I just need to clean my stamp and get out my markers again. And basically we're doing the same idea, but on a large canvas. So I will be cutting this down, but I'm going to cut it down after I've done the stamping. So, in fact, I'm going to use Old Olive this time so that you've got a comparison of colours. So we'll do Old Olive leaves rather than the garden green again. Should probably have done my Bumblebee, oops, wrong end, Bumblebee first, but it's fine. So I'm going to go close but not up to the Old Olive, because then I can take my Old Olive and fill in the gap. And then again with my cinnamon cider, some splodges. Try not to get them too regular, as in spaced in too regular a position. I love using the tag dies. They are probably one of my favourites. So there is the Old Olive version rather than the garden green. It's a bit skew with, but it's fine. So I'm going to trim down off this side. So I'm taking 1/8 of an inch off this side, so I'm down to 3 3/4 by 5.5. I always like to start with something that's a little larger and cut it down, particularly if you want something to be reasonably central. That way it actually has a hope of being central. Now, where have I put my gold ribbon? Did I get it down? No. Oh, this is because I'm trying to do things in... Ooh, actually, I'm going to use this one instead. So this is the fine art ribbon. It's one of those ones which I kind of looked at and then decided I wasn't really terribly keen on, and now I'm quite keen on it again. So the only other thing I need is a sentiment. So I'm going to go big congratulations again if I can find it. There we are. So I need a block, my cinnamon cider, and I have used this before, but I will just give it a quick rub. Helps, of course, if you don't then rub it off the block. And I've said it before, but always good for repeating. I always put my sentiments on crooked on my blocks so that I look at the sentiment, not the block. And that way, if your sentiment is slightly skew-whiff on your block, you're less likely to stamp crooked. Hope that makes sense. And then again, this is something I do regularly, particularly if I am using a very narrow edge. I put my adhesive onto the card I'm sticking to rather than the other way round, so I'm not having to hold something that's sticky. That's that. Need this, so let's pop this here. Now, I'm expecting the phone to ring any moment now with my husband saying, "It's time to go for the walk." So if the phone rings, bear with me while I let him know that I am not far away from going for a walk with him. This is our January Be Fit and Healthy. Now, I put this on dimensionals. I'm going to not put this on dimensionals as much as anything because it will take longer. And I did say I would be ready on time. So, and I will then have a quick read of your comments before we finish. So, cinnamon cider card. Always best to put things on the right way up. And there we are. So a variation on a theme. Let me get the other cards back in. And then I will have a quick read before we say our farewells. So bear with me when I pick that one up. So there we go. Those are our cards. So what we got? Definitely made me like the stamp set. Good. Written it off as not getting it. Good. Hello, Brenton. Took the dog for a walk today. Beautiful in the sunshine, although a chilly breeze. Love them all. Good. So I'm going to flip the camera up and say goodbye properly, as my parents would always say. Say goodbye properly. Love them all. Beautiful cards. Thank you. Do remember to give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And if you want to subscribe, that would be fan-dabby-dozy. If you don't already, you can do that in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Sherry. So, can't help myself. I buy everything. Well, these are free. These stamp sets are free. So, you can always justify free. Doesn't mean you have to buy something in order to get them for free, but anyway. So thank you very much indeed for joining me today. As I say, do remember to give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. It really does make a difference to how many other people get to see the video, just in passing. Thank you, Judith. I will now say farewell and bring up my end screen. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.